We have all experienced moments in life when emotions take control of us. Have you ever felt as though a wave of emotions swept away your decisions? You know, I am not one to say that emotions are bad. On the contrary, emotions are an essential part of life, work, and every relationship. But the issue lies in this: we cannot let emotions control us. We must learn to control our emotions. Think about a moment in your life when you could have acted brilliantly if only you had controlled your emotions. Perhaps you were angry and said things you should not have, or you were so anxious that you could not make the right decision. Uncontrolled emotions will lead you to failure. And that is precisely why managing emotions is so important. Emotions can be a faithful companion on your life's journey, but if you do not control them, they can become your worst enemy. Look back at the decisions you have made in life, and I bet many of them were influenced by the emotions you felt at the time. But do not misunderstand me. I am not saying you must live without emotions. What I want you to understand is that emotions are a powerful tool. And like all tools, if you do not know how to use them, they will work against you. Emotions can be the fire that warms your heart, but if you do not control them, they can burn everything within reach. Now, I want you to ask yourself, are my emotions controlling me? Or am I controlling my emotions? If you truly want to achieve lasting success and find peace of mind, you must learn to manage your emotions. When you can master your emotions, you will master your life. And when you master your life, you will be able to make wise decisions, unswayed by anxiety, fear, or anger. Remember this: it is not your emotions that matter, but how you respond to them. Emotions will come and go, but if you do not learn to control them, they will dictate your life in ways you do not want. Here's the first lesson I want you to remember. Emotions are not the enemy. It is the lack of control that you must avoid. You can have strong emotions, but you must learn to use them to propel yourself forward instead of letting them hinder your growth. So, are you ready to master your emotions? Start today. Do not wait until emotions take over you again. Step up and learn to control yourself. When I began sharing about managing emotions, one of the key things I wanted you to understand is that emotions cannot be eliminated. They are an essential part of being human. We need emotions to feel, to love, to be motivated, and to learn. But if you cannot manage your emotions, they will manage you. And when that happens, you cannot grow or move forward. Let me tell you a short story. A friend of mine, a successful entrepreneur, once shared with me, Jim, you can have a perfect strategy, but if you cannot manage your emotions, that strategy will never come to fruition. You will not have the ability to overcome challenges when emotions overpower your reason. Indeed, emotions influence us in ways we sometimes do not realize. They can lead us to make hasty decisions, wrong choices, or give up halfway when things get tough. You may have many dreams and plans, but if you cannot control your emotions in stressful situations, you will never achieve those goals. Emotions can make you happy when things go smoothly, but they can also make you weak when facing challenges, causing you to lack the patience to persist with what you have started. Remember, failure is not a bad thing, but giving up because of emotions is unacceptable. So why is managing emotions so important? Managing emotions not only helps you overcome difficulties, but also enables you to seize opportunities you might miss if you are led by fleeting emotions. It helps you stay calm, rational, and able to make wise decisions even when things are not going as planned. Think about a leader who can guide their team through tough times. When everyone else is panicking, the leader remains calm and leads the way to solutions. This cannot happen if the leader lets emotions take control. As I have said, Emotions are not the enemy. They are part of us. However, emotions can become the enemy when you cannot control them. They will trap you in cycles of anxiety, anger, and dissatisfaction. But when you learn to control your emotions, you will master your life, and everything will change. The question I want you to ask yourself today is, are my emotions causing me to miss the greatest opportunities in life? Let me give you a simple answer. If you cannot manage your emotions, you will struggle to make the right decisions at critical moments. And when you cannot do that, you will feel out of control and end up in situations you do not want. So, how can you start managing your emotions today? The first step is awareness. You need to realize that your emotions have a profound impact on every decision you make. When you recognize this, you will begin to take control of them. The second step is action. Do not just think about it. Start today. Learn to pause when you feel your emotions surging. Learn to control your reactions instead of letting emotions dictate your actions. Your life will change the moment you can control your emotions. You will no longer be swayed by negative emotions. You will become stronger, more decisive, and above all, you will not let anything stop you from moving forward. When you master your emotions, you will never have to fear failure again. This is the second step in the journey to mastering yourself. Now, I want you to start acting today. Look at the situations in your life where you can begin controlling your emotions. Just take the first step, and you will notice a significant change in your life. Success is not about what you achieve. Success is about how you control yourself when things do not go as planned. And when you master your emotions, you will see that everything you want in life is within reach. Remember this, emotions are not something you need to fear, but something you must learn to control. When you do that, you will be free. And when you are free, you will succeed. Think about this. Emotions can be the most powerful tool you possess, or the greatest destroyer if you do not know how to control them. Have you ever noticed that the emotions you experience daily, from anxiety, anger, to joy and excitement, all directly affect how you act, I think, and respond to the world around you? Surely, you have had moments when you felt overwhelmed by emotions. When you are angry, you might say things you did not mean to say. When you are anxious, you might act impulsively without thinking. And when you are tired, you might give up before achieving what you want. Emotions can cause you to miss opportunities, but if you know how to channel them, they will take you to new heights. So, how do you turn emotions into a tool rather than a danger? Awareness, the first key to controlling emotions. First, you must realize that emotions cannot be controlled instantly. Emotions are a natural human response to life situations. They can come unexpectedly, but the most important thing is how you respond to them. Jim Rohn once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you respond. That matters." Emotions may not be something you can control immediately, but how you react to them is entirely in your hands. Awareness is the first step to mastering your emotions. When you recognize that you are feeling angry, anxious, or frustrated, that is the moment to pause. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What is really happening? When you are clearly aware of your emotions, you will be able to manage and control them instead of letting them control you. Emotions are the material for change. You may not realize that emotions are the material that can help you change and grow. Yes, emotions can become a powerful tool to drive change in your life, but you must know how to channel them. Take anxiety. For example, when you face a new challenge, anxiety can make you feel uncertain or even fearful. But anxiety can also be a sign that you are stepping out of your comfort zone. This means you are growing. Anxiety is a sign of change and progress. Instead of avoiding it, you can learn to accept and use it as motivation to act. Emotions like anger or dissatisfaction can also signal that something is wrong in your life. Perhaps you are off track, or maybe you are being held back by something you need to change. Anger is a powerful emotion, but when you learn to use it correctly, it will give you the motivation to change and refuse to accept things that are unworthy of you. Mastering emotions, the decision of the successful. When you learn to master your emotions, you will realize you are no longer controlled by them. Instead, you will be the one controlling your emotions. You will not let yourself be swept away by anxiety, anger, or any other negative emotion. You will be able to act wisely and rationally. Managing emotions does not mean you stop feeling. It means that when emotions arise, you will know how to respond positively instead of letting them control you. You will decide what is important and what is not, and make decisions based on long-term goals, not short-term emotions. Remember, when you control your emotions, you control your life. You will not let emotions dictate your choices. You will choose to act rationally and aim for long-term goals rather than being led astray by fleeting emotions. Channeling emotions into positive energy. Emotions can become a powerful source of energy if you know how to use them. When you feel angry, instead of letting it destroy you, turn it into action, energy. Use that anger to drive you to work harder, to improve yourself every day. Emotions can be your greatest source of motivation, but you must learn to channel them toward your goals. Do not let emotions cause you to miss opportunities. Instead, let them fuel your drive and strength to continue your journey. No matter the difficulties, mastering emotions, mastering life. Emotions are not your enemy. They are a powerful tool you can use to achieve success, but if you do not learn to master them, they will become your enemy. When you control your emotions, you control your life. So, are you ready to master your emotions? Start today. Do not let emotions dictate your actions. Use them to fuel your progress. When you control your emotions, nothing can stop you. Success is not a destination, it is a journey. And to make that journey effective, you must know how to use every tool you have. And emotions are one of the most powerful tools you possess. I want you to take a moment to think about this. When things do not go as you want, can you stay calm? Can you keep moving forward, no matter how big the challenge? Emotions will arise in tough times, but what matters is how you choose to respond to them. Imagine a famous leader who guided their team through difficult times. Did they easily let emotions control them? Were they overwhelmed by anxiety, fear, or anger to the point of making unwise decisions? The answer is no. Successful people know how to manage their emotions and understand that emotions are not something to run from, but something they can learn to control to achieve the best results. Managing emotions is not just about suppressing anger or anxiety. It is about recognizing and using emotions in a way that benefits your growth. If you do not learn this, you will easily be controlled by emotions, leading to wrong decisions, inconsistent steps, and ultimately, failure. Emotions are the key piece of success. You cannot ignore the importance of emotions in life. If you look at the most successful people in the world, they are not just intelligent or talented. They are people who manage their emotions exceptionally well. They do not let emotions dictate their actions. They understand that emotions are part of the journey to success. And this is what helps them make the right decisions even in the most stressful moments. Powerful emotions like anger, anxiety, or fear can be the motivation to act, but you must learn to use them wisely instead of letting emotions push you into panic. You need to channel them into positive energy, using them to drive action and create results. Learn to stay calm in every situation. One of the most important things I want you to remember is that when you stay calm, you can master any situation in life. Calmness helps you make wise decisions and avoid being swept away by negative emotions. You will not overreact to stressful situations. Instead, you will act calmly and rationally. This does not mean you do not feel emotions. Emotions are part of being human, but you will not let emotions control your actions. For example, if you are criticized or face failure, you will not react impulsively. Instead, you will stay calm, analyze the situation, and make the best decision. You will not let fear or anger override your reason. Self-control is the most important thing. You can have all the skills, plans, and strategies in the world, but if you do not have self-control, they are worthless. Controlling your emotions is what determines whether you can master your life. Think about the important decisions you have made in life. Surely, there were times when emotions influenced you, right? Perhaps you were angry or anxious to the point of making a wrong decision. But if you can learn to control your emotions, you will be able to make wise decisions and continue your journey to success. One piece of advice I often give is, control begins from within. You cannot control what happens outside, but you can control what happens inside you. Build habits to manage emotions daily. Managing emotions is not something you do once and are done with. It is a habit you must practice every day. When you build this habit, you will notice that you are no longer controlled by emotions. One habit I want you to practice is to take a few minutes each day to check in with your emotions. Take time to think about what you are feeling, why you feel that way, and what you can learn from those emotions. Practicing this habit daily will help you maintain calmness and clarity in every situation, and you will notice that emotions are no longer a barrier in your life and work. Managing emotions is the path to success. If you want to succeed, it is crucial to know how to control and use your emotions effectively. When you control your emotions, you control your life. You will not be overwhelmed by emotions in stressful situations. And you will make wise decisions that bring you closer to your goals. Remember, managing emotions does not mean stopping feeling. It means learning to understand and use emotions positively. The key is not to eliminate emotions, but to learn how to use them to create success. So, are you ready to control your emotions? Start today. Do not let emotions rule you. Master them to lead your life to success. We have walked through the important steps of learning to manage emotions together. But there is something even more important than managing emotions, and that is your attitude. Your attitude determines whether you will achieve success, and it directly affects how you manage your emotions. Think about the most successful people you know. You may notice that they are not people without emotions, but people who know how to maintain the right attitude in every situation. They may face failure or difficulties, but their attitude does not change, and that attitude helps them overcome everything. What is the key here? The key is consistency in attitude. Your attitude is not just a fleeting reaction. It is the way you choose to view the world around you and how you choose to respond to every situation. A person with a positive attitude can turn emotions into a tool for growth, while a person with a negative attitude will let emotions hinder their progress. Positive attitude, the power to create opportunities. Emotions are part of our lives, but attitude determines how you deal with those emotions. When you have a positive attitude, you will use emotions to create motivation instead of letting them hold you back. Let me tell you something I have learned throughout my journey. Attitude is not just how you view problems, but how you view yourself. If you always see yourself as someone incapable of overcoming difficulties, if you do not believe you can succeed, then no matter how positive your emotions are, you will never reach your destination. When you have a positive attitude, but you not only change how you view things, but also how you feel about yourself. A person with a positive attitude will see opportunities and difficulties instead of just obstacles. And when you see opportunities, you will have the motivation to act. Patience and the right attitude lead to success. You have probably heard this saying, success is the result of small efforts repeated every day. This is where attitude plays a critical role. You need patience and persistence with your goals. Even when you feel tired or face failure, your attitude will determine whether you give up when you encounter setbacks. If you have the right attitude, you will know that failure is just part of the process, and you will keep going. You never give up when you believe that your persistence and positive attitude will lead you to your destination. Think about the successful people you know. They are not people who never fail, but people who know how to get back up after every fall. And that is thanks to their right attitude, an attitude of never giving up, never being defeated by difficulties. Attitude determines emotions. Emotions determine actions. Emotions are the material we work with every day, but attitude determines how you use that material. When you have the right attitude, you will know how to use your emotions as a tool to drive action instead of letting them pull you down. Think about a time when you felt angry, a powerful emotion. If you have a negative attitude, you will let that anger ruin everything, perhaps making hasty and thoughtless decisions. But if you have a positive attitude, you can turn that anger into motivation to solve problems, work harder, and not give up. Emotions are just a tool, and your attitude determines how you use that tool. A consistent and positive attitude allows you to control your emotions, and when you can control your emotions, you can control everything in your life. Build positive habits for success. We cannot change emotions instantly, but we can change our attitude right now. And when you change your attitude, you will see your emotions change too. One of the best ways to maintain a positive attitude is to build good habits every day. Habits are something you can control, and positive habits will help you build the right attitude daily. Start with small steps, like exercising, reading, or planning your day, and step by step, you will notice your attitude changing. When you can build positive habits, you will find each day becomes easier. And gradually, these habits will help you maintain the right attitude in every situation, leading to success naturally. Conclusion: attitude is the key to success. In the end, remember this: emotions are an essential part of our lives, but attitude determines what you do with those emotions. Your attitude decides how you respond to every situation in life. And the right attitude determines how far you can go on your journey to success. You cannot change the world around you, but you can change your attitude. And when you change your attitude, you will see everything around you change too. Start today. Create a positive and consistent attitude. When you master your attitude, you will master your emotions. And from there, you will master your life. And when you master your life, success will come to you as a certainty. So, how will you start changing your attitude today? Have you ever wondered why some people achieve extraordinary success while others struggle from the very first steps? The key lies in their ability to master their emotions and attitude. Of course, talent and knowledge are important, but if you cannot control your emotions, If your attitude is not right, you will face significant barriers, even with all the abilities and opportunities. Remember this, no great success comes without challenges. You will face failures and moments when everything seems to be against you. But it is not those challenges that define who you are. It is how you respond to them. Mastering emotions and attitude is not something that happens in a single moment. It is a long and continuous journey, but once you realize you can control what happens inside you, you will see that life can change in a very different way. And this is not just theory. This is the truth I have learned through years, through challenges, failures, and successes. Emotions and attitude, two factors that determine action. You cannot avoid emotions, but you can decide what to do with them. Emotions are not something to fear. They are something you can use to enrich your life. But if you do not master them, they will lead you to wrong decisions. And that mastery of emotions begins with your attitude. A positive attitude is not about living in a world without problems. That is not realistic. A positive attitude is how you choose to view problems and how you choose to face difficulties. When you have the right attitude, you will not be controlled by negative emotions. You will know how to channel those emotions into motivation to move forward. If you have an I can do it attitude, your emotions will reflect that. Positive emotions will help you persist, help you find solutions instead of complaining. And that is the difference between successful and unsuccessful people, the ability to master emotions and attitude in every situation. Learn to channel negative emotions into positive energy. Let us face the truth. Everyone has bad days when you feel crushed by difficulties. Negative emotions like anger, anxiety, or fear can arise at any moment. But you know what? That is when you need to learn to channel negative emotions into positive energy. Emotions are not something you can turn off, but you can choose how to respond to them. You can choose to transform negative emotions into motivation to keep acting. Think about the feeling of anger. Anger can be a powerful emotion, but instead of letting it destroy you, you can use it as a source of energy to act, to step out of your comfort zone, and to solve problems. Negative emotions have no power if you do not let them control you. When you master your emotions, you will see that everything can change. Emotions are no longer the enemy, but a useful tool to help you go further. Maintain a positive attitude when facing challenges. Life is not always smooth, and I know no one can avoid failures. But it is in those moments that your positive attitude truly shines, when things do not go as planned. Your attitude determines whether you keep going or give up. I have seen many people give up just because they let negative emotions take over. When facing failure, they lack the ability to maintain an optimistic attitude and keep going. That makes them stop instead of persevering. A positive attitude is not about denying reality. It is about seeing difficulties as part of the journey and believing you can overcome them. You may fail, but you are never a failure if you keep persisting. Practice patience. Success does not come in a day. Remember that success does not happen overnight. It comes from persistent efforts, from continuing to act every day. No matter how your emotions change, patience and a positive attitude are what help you get through tough days. Emotions may change, but a consistent attitude will keep you focused on your goals. Keep working, keep learning. And when you are patient, when you maintain a positive attitude, you will see amazing results come. Manage emotions. Master attitude. Acquiere success. In the end, remember that your emotions and attitude are powerful tools in your journey to success. When you control them, you control your life. And when you master your life, success will come. Now is the time to act. Do not wait. until you feel ready to start controlling your emotions? Start today. Set goals. Control your emotions. Maintain a positive attitude and persist in your journey. Remember, emotions are not something to fear. Attitude is something you can change right now. When you change your attitude, you will change your life. And when you change your life, success is inevitable. Today, we have gone through a long journey about mastering emotions and attitude, the key factors that determine success in life and work. But this is just the beginning. Learning to control emotions and maintain a positive attitude is a continuous journey. And that is what makes the difference between successful and unsuccessful people. Remember one thing, emotions are not something to avoid. They are something we need to learn to manage and use to grow. Emotions are not your enemy. They are a tool for you to change and progress. And attitude, attitude. It is the light that guides your path. When you have the right attitude, when you hold firm to your belief in your abilities, you will overcome any challenge. Success comes from persistence and emotional control. Remember, success is not a destination. It is a journey. And that journey begins with controlling your emotions and attitude. You will face challenges. You will feel like a failure at times. But what matters is that you do not give up. Success does not come to those who cannot persist. And persistence is not something you can buy. It is built through controlling yourself every day. When you know how to manage your emotions, you will master every situation in life. And that persistence will help you achieve every goal you set. Emotions will come and go, but your attitude will always be what keeps you steady through the great waves of life. Life is a choice, and you decide who you will be. Success is not an accident. Your life is not the result of what has happened, but the result of the choices you have made. You can choose to be someone influenced by negative emotions, or you can choose to master them, to make wiser decisions. You can choose to be overwhelmed by failures, or you can choose to use failure as a stepping stone to learn and grow. There will surely be times when you feel tired, times when you want to give up. But when you have the right attitude, when you know that every day is a new opportunity to improve and grow, you will keep standing up. And when you do not give up, success will come to you as a certainty. Start today. Do not wait until you feel ready. Do not wait for everything to be perfect. Start now. Success is the result of small habits practiced every day. And the best habit you can create is the habit of controlling your emotions and maintaining a positive attitude. I want you to ask yourself, what is most important to me right now? You may have all the skills and strategies in hand, but if you cannot control your emotions and attitude, you will struggle. Start changing how you respond to life today. Final advice, be resilient and confident. Life will test you in ways you cannot predict. But remember, every time you overcome a challenge, you become stronger. Success is not about achieving everything instantly. It is about moving forward despite difficulties. And when you can master your emotions and attitude, you will grow stronger than any challenge you face. So, I want you to remember one last thing. Never let your emotions lead you astray. Let them help you move forward. And with a positive, persistent attitude and a heart always ready to learn, you will achieve everything you dream of. Start today. Master your emotions and attitude. When you master them, you will master your life. And when you master your life, success will come to you. What is holding you back? Act today and step onto the path to your own success.